Grand rising, grand arrival, grand return, peace and blessings to the righteous and the repentant alike. I am Chi Sophia of the Americana Band of Indians, and this is our American Kalends, our Church New Year. Of course, it's Labor Day, September the 1st, and this is a video to describe the basically the I don't know how I would describe this. This is the calendar for this month, in the start of this church new year, based on the American system. So we already did one for the solar moon, which began on or galactic moon, I'm sorry, which began on the 22nd. But we're also going to do them for the American cycle as well, because for 1752, we've been behind the American cycle, meaning they've been doing all kinds of stuff with the calendar and not asking and not telling and not nothing and not considering that they're not the ones that's supposed to be setting the calendar. So we're also going to seize control of the American calendar as well. And if you saw the screenshot this from the last video, you saw that I put the American calendar days on there. And so, of course, this is the American Kalends, A Kalends. This is in black on this calendar. And the first of the month, okay? So what is a good first of the month ritual like for this American cycle? Now, keep in mind, this is the cycle of the leadership. This is the cycle of the quote unquote kings. And so therefore, we have to, like I said, seize this cycle as well. And so what I did today, and I suggest people think about what they want to do for their first of the month ritual, is I had fried chicken. Now, this may be nonsense to some people, but Apollo has reached out to us, right? Made a good faith effort to restore the order of the Olympic zodiac over our people, okay? As the one who is going to be responsible for making sure our people, and our people means those are awakened, those who are enlightened, those who are in the proper frequency, to make sure that we have what we need to be successful. Now, that being said, I am going to take the first of the month, probably every month, and have fried chicken. Why is that? Because Apollo spells a pollo. Pollo is chicken, golden, in the sky, fried, sun. It encapsulates the energy of Apollo. So now you know why our people eat fried chicken, a pollo, because it is to connect with Apollo, right? That's the best that I can come from it. It makes the most sense to me. So the first thing I want to point out is today is the first. So what you want to do is all the things that you need. So first of all, you should have already done this because of the whole, what was I talking about? The church new year with setting your financial, contract for the year. So I made a video on a sample version of the contract, okay? So you should already have that done. Mine is already done. I've already received confirmations, multiple confirmations actually, which is insane. I don't think I've ever done a contract and received a confirmation the same day as I submitted the contract, a spiritual contract. So this is already, to me, going in the right direction. So I share that with everyone to say that it's not too late. I'm recording this video just around 3 o'clock, so I'm going to upload it. It's not going to be too long. It's not too late for you to set your intentions for this fiscal year. So then you also want to, so this is the calendar of the kings, right? The royal calendar. That's what the American calendar is. We are the America's the royalty of this planet. So what we say goes, all right? And so that's, I don't know how else to interpret that. Like, what we say goes. And as you can see all over the planet, what we say goes. And so we're the eagle. We're the top of the totem pole. We are the ones who set the standard, because this country possesses the golden ones of the creator, which is our people, with on this frequency. So Being the first of the month, this is the day that you want to ask for things related to leadership. So, or the big picture, the outside picture. So for me, I already did this because I submitted my contract on this day. But if you're not going to do your contract today, just think of some leadership thing that you would like to have resolved. So, for example, if you have things, paperwork, like my paperwork group, you've got paperwork that you submitted, today's the day when you start asking, hey, can I get a response for my paperwork, a favorable response for my paperwork? If you have court scenarios going on, hey, can I get a favorable response for my court scenario? This is the day that you make your request to the king. And our intercessor for the king, because the king is really Sagittarius, so we have an intercessor. Our intercessor for the king is Apollo. Apollo and Athena are fire signs. This is why the king, Sagittarius, is a fire sign. Understand what I'm saying? We're talking about fire signs. It's a trine, okay? So this is like a energetic trine, okay, of the energy. And so we're going to ask Apollo to give us whatever we need. Now, I did mine on paper because I always do everything on paper. It's easier for me to check off if I get it. If I don't have it written down, I can't check it off. And so when I do my reviews, I don't have any notes. So I recommend you do it on paper. I'm also going to write something in my notebook today to codify what I'm asking for. But today is the day to ask. Now, what will happen when we get to the odds? Now, the odds for September are on, the no-nays, the no-nays for September are on the 5th. This is known as a regular month, not a full month. And I don't know exactly what they meant by that, but for whatever reason, the no-nays of this month is on the 5th. So by September the 5th, whatever you ask for today should start to show up. Okay? And by the 14th, which is the exaltation of the cross, that's when we should start to receive it, okay? Again, the odds of this month line up with the exaltation of the cross. Leadership. This calendar for this month is a clear indication that what I'm saying is correct. All the things line up so that you cannot miss it. So on the emotional level, which is what the lunar cycles rule, right? Ruled by Artemis or Diana. So I got some videos I'm working on. We're going to talk about Artemis or Diana. We're going to talk about Apollo, and we're going to talk about Demeter, because Demeter rules next zodiac that's coming up. So we're going to cover the three that we haven't discussed yet. We haven't discussed any of them, but we're going to cover the three that we've already been experiencing, so that we can understand what's going on. So, Artemis rules the Zolkin cycle. Diana rules the Zolkin cycle. And so what we ask for emotionally on the galactic moon, first of the month, when I said what did I tell everybody to do? Black-eyed peas and greens, okay? That was for the internal cycle, right? This one right here is for the external cycle. This is for the king cycle, okay? This is for the king cycle. So what we ask for from the moon cycle, the galactic moon, by the 4th, that should be fulfilled, okay? Because it will be 14 days from the start of the galactic moon. All right, that's our emotional cycle. Now for this outward cycle, this is the outer version of us, the shell, or the quote unquote avatar, as some people say. This is the start of the cycle for our outward selves, okay? And that cycle is ruled by Apollo. Now, Apollo and Artemis are twins, okay? So then you can see how these things kind of play together. They're similar, but not the same, okay? So I want to point out today is 9 degrees of Virgo. Okay, so the 9 degrees of Virgo, let me mention about this. Our day starts at 6 a.m. I don't know what other time people pick. I don't care what time they pick. If you on this channel and you rolling with my calendar, which I beg people, give me a month. Now we're starting on the church new year, the calendar. Give me a month. Try me out for a month, okay? And see if following my calendar helps you on the outside. This is the external one. This is the flashy stuff that people will see. Okay, the other one is the internal that you have to work on the inside. This is the external. This is the one that's on the outside, okay? Try me out for a month. See if my calendar makes sense for you, okay? So we clock the time at 6 a.m. Eastern. Why 6 a.m.? Well, I don't know. It's like that's the time that we use. That's the time, the average time of sunrise is at 6 a.m. Half of the year it's after 6 a.m. Half of the year it's before 6 a.m. But it all converges around 6 a.m. So 6 a.m. is our start time, Eastern, okay? 6 a.m. Eastern is our start time. Why Eastern? Well, our capital, which is Washington, D.C., is located in Eastern time zone, okay? It's not located in Pacific. It's not located wherever else. It's located in Eastern. So that's what we use. That's our capital, okay? Our that's where our king is seated, okay? And I'm gonna talk about this when we get to Apollo, but I believe that Apollo is the one who is the king of DC. And what's her name? Columbia has been LARPing in Apollo's energy. It's a big fight going on right now. Like it's a big fight going on right now. So point of the matter is we are asking Apollo to come and rule our calendar cycle, our external calendar cycle, our outside calendar cycle. He volunteered to rehabilitate these entities. That's what I expect for him to do, because he gonna have to answer to his dad, our dad, whoever. He gonna have to answer if he can't do it. And so I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. We gave all these other entities, all these other people, all these other artificial intelligence calendars, languages, whatever. We gave them all the benefit of the doubt. We can give Apollo the benefit of the doubt and let him do his work. Okay? Let's try him. All right. So today is 9 degrees of Virgo. Now, something very, very, very important happens this month. Now, this only happens 6 months out the year. So from Aries season to Virgo season is the only time that this happens. What is happening this month is we have a double day. We have a extra long day. So this happens once in Aries, once in Taurus, once in Gemini, twice in Cancer, once in Leo, once in Virgo. We have an extra long day. And that's where at 6 a.m. it's at 6 a.m. it's 1 degree and of one day, and the next day it's still in that same degree at 6 a.m. This is what our new moon cycle is like, and this time as well. So all of these things are converging. We had a Virgo new moon at 0 degrees, and now we're going to have a Virgo new moon at 29 degrees. This is the same thing that happens in our actual calendar for the actual days. So right after the Pisces full moon, I made a note of this. People who want this, just email me or text me or whatever, and I'll email it to you. Okay. But if you got the other calendar, this is basically the same. I just added in the degrees because the other one didn't have the degrees, and now I have degrees. So on the 7th of September, which is this Sunday coming up, we have a Pisces full moon at 15 degrees, okay? Full moon, lunar eclipse, total lunar eclipse. It's going to be over the Middle East, okay? The very next day is the nativity of the Theotokos. And it's also the first day of our lunar new year, okay? Our lunar years, remember, are ruled by Artemis. We're going to talk about her. But at 5:31, we hit 16 degrees. And it stays 16 degrees of Virgo from 5:30. Apollo stays in 16 degrees of Virgo from 5:31 a.m. Apollo as in the sun. I'm sorry, I should say that. Stays in 16 degrees of Virgo from 5:31 a.m. to 6:19 a.m. on the next calendar day. So this is an extra long day because the snapshot at 6 a.m., we've been doing this for 2 years. When I was doing my daily reports, we've been looking at this for 2 years. We know for a fact at 6 a.m. that is a snapshot of the energy for the day, okay? And for 2 days in a row, 9-8 and 9-9 is 16 degrees. Now, this is crazy because I have been saying, if you listen to my latest conversation with Crypto Medici, I said that something was being birthed. So again, we have a birth cycle that's taking place from 5:31 a.m. to 6:19 a.m. 5:31 a.m. on 9-8 to 6:19 a.m. on 9-9. And it's at 16 degrees. You can't make this kind of stuff up. Okay? I'm just rehashing it. I didn't make this up at all whatsoever. So you can look at the numbers. It's lots of numbers going on with this. I'm not going to get into all of that. I just wanted to point that out. So this is the last double we have until we get back into Aries season. So what else is going on this month? So on the 14th, we have the exaltation of the cross. And like I said, that's the Ides of the month. So by the 14th of September, whatever you ask for today should show up. Very, very important that you're keeping track to make sure you get it, right? Because I'm asking you guys to give me a try for a month. And if you don't actually pay attention to whether you get it or not, then what? Also, what's very interesting about the 14th of the month is that it is a 9 personal day. It is a 9 personal day. I mean, that's clearly an end of a cycle. Like, that is so unbelievable. Again, I didn't do this. All I did was sync the calendar. That day is actually 21 degrees of Virgo. So by the time we get to 21 degrees of Virgo, whatever you ask for today on 9 degrees of Virgo should show up. And you have an extra long day in there, 2 16-degree Virgo days to make sure it happens, okay? So on the 19th of September at 26 degrees of Virgo, we have the first day of our solar month. It's called the solar moon. And I'll do another video for that, obviously going over the astrology and whatnot. I'm not going to cover that in this video. We're just covering the dates. On the 21st of September, if you've been fasting with us, that's going to be pretty close to the end of our fast. Maybe the 23rd, depends on, how you do this. Because the equinox is on the 24th. So you can fast until the 24th. I don't know when I'm going to stop, honestly. It's just every year it's a surprise. So, but on the 21st at 28 degrees of Virgo, we have the Feast of Trumpets. That is also the day of our 29-degree Virgo new moon that I was just mentioning earlier, and it's a penumbral solar eclipse, so it's not a full total solar eclipse. And then on our Libra equinox is on the 24th of September at 1 degree of Libra. And then right after, the very next day on the 25th of September at 2 degrees of Libra, we have our Tzolk'in no-knowns. So remember, the Tzolk'in cycle is your emotional cycle. So by the 1st, we'll do our black eyed peas and greens, and whatever the result of that is will start to show up. Remember, nones is when it starts to show up. Ides is when it's completed. Okay, so it'll start to show up on that day, and then by the Ides it'll be done. We still got more days to talk about in this month, at least one more. Our day of atonement is at 6 degrees of Libra. It is on the 29th of September at 6 degrees of Libra. That is our day of at-one-ment. If you have done your contract should be, you should pretty much know if your contract that you submit today or whatever is accepted by that day. And then on the 30th, we close it up. And that's it, because we're coming up on our American Kalends on the 1st at 8 degrees of Libra. So that's the pertinent things for this month. Know that we start this month in an 8, and then we end this month in a 9, about, 3/4 of the way through. Basically in the last decan, we're at 9. We turn into the 9 Tzolk'in month. And also, let's see, I talked to y'all about the nativity, the exaltation, the dates. So yeah, just previewing Libra season a little bit. We, like I mentioned, we have the Feast of Sukkot coming up. That's at 12 degrees of Libra on the 5th of October for 8 days. Our Columbus Day is on the 13th of October at 20 degrees of Libra. Then we have our American Ides, and we go into the planetary moon. We have our Libra, we have our Aries full moon, which is the end of our first lunar month on the 7th of October. And October 7th, if you y'all remember what happened October 7th of 2023. So we'll see how that's going to go for them, because this will be our very first not our very first. Let's say this will be our second, maybe at least our second, perhaps our third observation of the Lunar New Year, starting with the Pisces full moon. So we'll see how how that day goes down in history, now that we're fully in control of the cycle. So if you have the other calendar, of course, screenshot this. We'll talk about it more as things come up, but I did want to just make a quick video so that if you haven't made your contract, you can get it done. It's very important to write these things down, to be, totally devoted to making it work. Our energy is very powerful and potent right now. We can get a lot of things done. But I can't do it for you. I can only give you the tools, which now you have plenty of tools to work with. There's no end to the tools. Before we were working with very limited tools. Now we have a plethora of tools. Okay, so peace and blessings, shalom, and we'll see you in the next video.